Good morning, everyone. My name is Jen, and my pronouns are they, them, and I am your worship associate on this cool but beautiful sunny Sunday morning. We welcome you into this sanctuary where we celebrate diversity and learn from one another, no matter our differences, in order to deepen our sacred connections and transform the world with love. Let us begin our worship with these opening words by Reverend Michelle Collins. Sacred Descent. Welcome all who are restless for a world renewed. We come carried by ancestors who refused the silence of despair and dared to sing a new song. Their courage whispers through us still. Today we resist by showing up. Together, we resist by keeping faith with what is not yet. Our gathering is itself an act of sacred descent, calling us to rise and unite as co-creators of a freer tomorrow. Welcome, co-creators. We are so glad to have you here with us today as we continue to explore how to resist. What is the best terminology to... Was that supposed to stay? No. Or, better terminology if so inclined. Explore how to resist to dream about a better world and to make it happen. I'm having technology issues. Why isn't it scrolling? 2 fingers. This Apple situation. What is wrong? Okay, sorry. Continue to explore how to resist to dream about a better world and to make it happen. Heather will get us started with some announcements.
Thank you, Jen. We call those holy, sacred mistakes as we learn from them. I'm Heather Norby. I'm the Spiritual Life Director for this fantastic congregation, and it's really great to be back with you today. I made it halfway around the world and back. That's quite a feat. I have a few announcements. Yesterday was the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade here in Lakeland, and there we are. We showed up. Thank you to all who showed up. We marched behind the Interfaith Coalition banner, and we had one other person carry that banner with me. She's not in that picture anyway, who wasn't from our church, but all the rest of us were UUs. Yeah. Y'all, really, it's great that we show up. We just do. We show up, and it's fantastic. So thank you all. I don't know, Faisal was doing this, so I'm not sure what that means. He might have another picture. It's okay. I'll move on, and he can keep going. Let's see. There are assisted listening devices available to anyone who needs one, and we thank Jason Beadlow for getting these ready for us. I suppose you would have to see Faisal if you needed one. Next Sunday afternoon, here in our sanctuary is the Celebration of Life service for Jane Eskenazi, who recently passed away. She's a member here for about 40 years, so we hope that you can make it and celebrate her life with us. She's a very special woman, and we're really going to miss her. I do also, thank you, Gail, brought in the obituary, which I'll hang on the bulletin board so that you can look at it. But since the service is at 3 p.m., and of course we start church at 11, and then we have a leadership meeting. We have a leadership meeting after church, and then the service at 3. That's kind of a long day, so we would really love it if you brought some food so that we can nourish ourselves and be able to make it throughout the day. Okay, thanks. Wednesday, January 28th at 6:30 p.m. Here in the sanctuary, Nancy is bringing in someone from an organization called Braver Angels. This is an organization that teaches us how to communicate across political divides. which is very difficult these days. And so if this is a skill you would like to work on, please join us on January 28th. Thank you. There'll be more information about it in the newsletter. Hospitality, of course. Amber always needs people to sign up for hospitality to help it run smoothly, and so that just the same people aren't doing all the work all the time. Today, after service, there's an usher greeter meeting at 12:30, so anyone who is currently an usher greeter and anyone interested in being an usher greeter is welcome. Again, you can sign up once a month, once every other month. This is stuff that we do together to lighten the load for all of us. The next First Friday event is on February 6, 2026. The event theme is Mardi Gras. It's in Munn Park. We need volunteers for this February event and for the first Fridays in April, June, and July. So please see Vaisal if you would like to volunteer. Okay. This is what happens when I leave for 2 weeks. I have a long list of announcements. Save the date. The UUCL yard sale is Saturday, March 21st from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Start collecting your items to sell now, and then deliver those donations the week of March 15th. Also consider signing up to help with the event. This is a pretty big fundraiser for us. January 20th is the National Action Day Free America Walkout. For details, visit the Indivisible Polk, Florida website, or just see Vaisal. All right, and of course, you can check your order of service and our newsletter, which comes out tomorrow. Thank you. All right, we will create our sacred space by lighting our chalice.
The flaming chalice is the symbol of this Unitarian Universalist faith. We light it each Sunday, as do UU churches around the world, to create sacred space, to connect us with one another, and to remember who we are as a people of faith. As we light our chalice today, let us recite together the declaration and the covenant we make to ensure that our shared Unitarian Universalist value of equity lights up the world. Do we have that slide? Okay, it's in the order of service. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Two fingers works. Rachel, would you please do us the honor of lighting our chalice? Thank you, Rachel. Let us rise in body or spirit to sing in English and Spanish, hymn 123, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow with the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand. And now we would like to have all of our children and children at heart come up front for our message of all ages.
Hey, good morning. Well, it's really great to see some of you. How you been? They've been good. How are you? Good. All right. You did strawberry picking? Oh, excellent. That's so much fun. And your birthday was January 11th? Happy birthday. 7? Okay. Yeah. All right, 6, 7. Moving on. So I've been gone. I took a really long trip to the other side of the world. Have you ever heard of the country of Qatar? Yeah? Qatar? It's Qatar. Nope, it's not like the board game of Catan. It is Qatar. And it's a tiny little peninsula off of Saudi Arabia. It's in the Middle East. It's really far away. And I went because my sister lives there. She married somebody from there, and she's lived there for 25 years, and I am a bad big sister, and this was the first time I went to go visit her. Her friends over there gave me such a hard time, you wouldn't believe it. They're like, what took you so long? 25 years? I'm like, okay, it's a long ways away, y'all. So I went there, and I learned a lot, because they have a very different culture over there. And so I decided I was going to be curious and ask a lot of questions. And so I did. I asked a lot of questions. But they loved answering them. They were really thankful that I wasn't judging them or criticizing them or telling them, we don't do that. Why do you do that? Right? Why do you do that, right? No, I was open and curious, and I learned so much. And you know what? The people in Qatar, the Arab people there, are so welcoming. They welcomed me like I couldn't believe. They were hugging me, kissing me, giving me candy. I know. They do this thing where you kiss like on the cheeks. I was like, what are we doing? Okay, I figured it out. So they gave me lots of candy and treats, which I did bring some, by the way, so it'll be in the social hall afterwards. You can have some Arabic treats. And they gave me a dress and some perfume and just all sorts of things. My suitcases were stuffed full on the way back. So one of the things that I did there and that I learned about with their welcoming culture is this, well, let's see, okay. Let me preface this with, I always buy old things, right? So I had my sister bring me to all the antique stores in Qatar, and I found these things, and I was like, what is this? What is this? Anybody know? It looks interesting, doesn't it? Like a diffuser? Mm-hmm. Do you smell anything? Anybody? Was it? What does it smell like? Yeah. This is a rose water sprinkler. So in some households, when you go in, they welcome you by sprinkling rose water into your hands. Why do you think they do that? Because it's to welcome you. It smells good. They want you to feel very welcome in their household, and this is like a little gift. So because it's very old, it's also leaking, and it's kind of leaked all over the place, but There's maybe some in there, and I was gonna offer it to you all. Do you want a little bit of sprinkle of rose water in your hands? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let me see. It's just kind of leaking everywhere, but don't worry, y'all will get some. I'm gonna refill it for later, okay? Does it smell? Smells like a rose, right? Because it's made from rose petals and water. That's why they call it rose water. Right? Yeah, coconut water. You like coconut? Do you? You could like add like a tiny little bit of rose water and make it like, really special. Yeah, they add rose water to like all of their, like a lot of their treats and stuff. It's so good. So good. So, anyway, it's very important to welcome people in. I was a stranger over there and I felt very welcomed. So, here at church, oh, I forgot my microphone. Here at church, we have something called the Hospitality Committee. Does anybody know what that is? It's a group of people that set up tables and put lots of food on it so we can eat. Well, what is hospitality? Is it just food? Yeah. But how does it make you feel? Like when church is over and you go in the social hall and there's food. Or what if church was over and you went in the social hall and there was no food? Oh, you'd be very surprised. Yeah. Would you feel welcome? Would you want to stick around? No. You would? To talk to people. You still want to talk to people. Does food make it better, though? Depends on what it is. Always. Yeah, sure. Right, so hospitality is a way to welcome people. And in this day and age when there's so many people up in the government telling us to fear other people, we can resist that by welcoming people. By welcoming people we don't know. By welcoming people who are different from us and being curious and learning from them. What do you think? Yeah. So in the social hall after the service, you're going to talk to people, right? You like to talk to people. Do you like to talk to people you don't know? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I feel a little shy too, but we can do it. You say hi to everyone you don't know. You should be the welcoming committee. You want to talk to everyone too? Okay, we've got some very welcoming children, and that is fantastic. And so I look forward to talking to you in the social hall afterwards, or watching you talk to people that you don't know. What do you think? There's somebody here that I don't know. I don't want to make her feel awkward or anything, but it is very nice to meet you. We'll catch up later. All right, well, I think that's it. Are you ready? Yes. All right. You're out of here. Thank you all. Yeah. You can do that. And Jen, you can do sharing of abundance if you like.
If you guys want to put stones in, you can put stones in.
It's their favorite part.
Oh, I got it. contact and huge grin was awesome. Here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a small church with big aspirations. We can achieve those aspirations if everyone gives of their time, talents, and treasures. Our shared Unitarian Universalist value of generosity calls us to be faithful UUs by covenanting with one another to freely and compassionately share our presence and resources. This is the time in our worship service when we are given the opportunity to share. Today, do we have more information about this? No? Okay. Today, we are doing a Share the Plate. It is for the Band Book Club Lakeland students. And Harper, I know you wrote an article about this. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but maybe you could say a word.
I can say something about it if you want.
I'm sure. Okay.
So yeah, the Share the Plate is it's called the Band Book Club for Lakeland Youth, and they just provide a safe space for discussing books that have been challenged or removed from the schools, and foster freedom to read and explore like diverse topics and things. And there were a lot of banned books in Florida. Like we were the state that had the most banned books in the whole United States in the last year. So it's a really great group that cropped up in the youth, and they meet at the library. And this Share the Plate will help them buy some more books to read and be together and explore.
Awesome. Thank you, Sherry.
Yep.
So today, the ushers will pass the plates for our collection as you help to support this church community and our Polk County community, the Band Book Club, and make it a place for all of us to learn and grow.
Thank you all for your generous blessings. Fear of the stranger disconnects us, and it increases violence. Fear of one another destroys our relationships and fragments humanity. We are seeing it now more than ever. Humanity has lost its way. The current administration is amplifying and promoting fearful ideology. Anyone who disagrees is now labeled a domestic terrorist. A couple months ago, our Florida governor named the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, as a terrorist organization. You may remember that we had speakers from CAIR here at UUCL last March. And you may remember from that presentation that CAIR is an organization that seeks to educate people in order to reduce Islamophobia by dispelling the myths around the Muslim religion and culture. CAIR seeks to heal relationships. Before our governor made this statement, the governor of Texas did the same. The UUJME, or Unitarian Universalists for Justice in the Middle East, signed a joint letter to the Texas governor calling it politically motivated scapegoating and bigoted harassment, as CAIR has made explicit statements against terrorism and regularly issues statements condemning attacks and bigotry against people of other faiths. In another joint statement, CARE National and CARE Florida said, Governor DeSantis knows full well that CARE Florida is an American civil rights organization that has spent decades advancing free speech, religious freedom, and justice for all, including for the Palestinian people. That's precisely why Governor DeSantis is targeting our civil rights group with this unconstitutional and defamatory proclamation. Jen, would you please light the healing candle for us? Spirit of life and love, stir within us a deep sense of what radical hospitality looks like. One that breaks down the walls of fear and allows for us to welcome the stranger so that we may know each other as sacred beings. Let not our differences divide us, but rather enrich our lives with the many ways to be human in this world. Spirit of life and love, help us find our way as we navigate difficult terrain, pointing us in the direction of love, nourishing our hearts with tenderness, and providing our souls with the courage to support our journey. May it be so. Our ritual of the sharing of joys and sorrows is a prayerful time in which we listen to our hearts, minds, bodies, and souls to discern what it is we need in this moment of healing. This ritual allows for us to connect our lives and deepen our faith in the understanding that we do indeed belong to one another. We are here to care for each other, and through caring, we illuminate the beauty of our interdependence. In our Joys and Sorrows book today, I have some happy notes about the Martin Luther King parade yesterday, in which, of course, it's all about unity and diversity. Sherry writes that she's very grateful to everyone who showed up yesterday in the MLK Junior Parade. UUCL was the only church or congregation who had members show up from the Interfaith Coalition, except for Beacon Hill, I will give them credit, to stand beside and within our brothers and sisters of color in this community. It was a joy to see the gratitude and feel the love from them, especially the older ones who were alive when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive and the civil rights movement. It is vitally important to keep his words and his dreams alive for us all. From Sherry. Dorothy also shares her joy. Yesterday, UUCL was well represented in the parade, thanks to all who showed up. And from Kino, who kind of did his own thing. You're not surprised, are you? He was there with us. But at the MLK Junior Parade yesterday, he says, I relish the memory of the, let's say, elder African-American woman who hugged me and said, thank you and your group for coming out and honoring Dr. King. Dr. King would be proud of you promoting more love by carrying your sign saying, write paper notes of appreciation. Bless you and your group, she told him. Wow. That's nice.
They all said thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was something, you know, we had the Interfaith Coalition sign, and when people looked at it, they kind of looked at it, and then they went, oh, interfaith, yay! So, yeah, that made it worth it. Well, for all that has not been said, we will say our little prayer. You are not alone. We are holding it together. And so I invite you now to come forward for our ritual of joys and sorrows, where you may take stones and place them in the bowl of water, connecting to others and feeling the power of being together in this community. Jen will put stones in for anyone watching on our streaming services or on Zoom. Good morning, welcome, and remember, you are not alone. We are holding it together. While searching for the 19th century historic fort ruins of Zakrit in the sparsely populated northwest part of Qatar, I might have gotten just a little bit lost in the desert with my sister and her husband. Apparently, we missed the one small sign at the end of the main road that tries to point the infrequent visitor in the right direction. So we found ourselves driving around a sandy desert area instead of at the old fort. It was apparent that some other folks had been out here in the past and past the paved road, making their own routes, because there were these compacted sand routes that went here and there throughout this desert area. Unfortunately, these unofficial roads didn't seem to really be going anywhere, or at least anywhere that we wanted to go. So I pulled up the directions again on Google Maps and realized we were driving away from the fort ruins that we had been looking for and towards sand. More sand, with layers of rocks and desert plants scattered upon it. Surely, we would not be able to handle this bumpy, uneven terrain in my sister's Nissan for long, I thought, after she ran over a large rock and scraped the bottom of her SUV. I tried to warn her. So I pointed in the direction of the fort after finding it on the map, and my sister turned around and tried to find the easiest way there. However, those unofficial roads kept taking us in the wrong direction. So my brother-in-law, a Qatari native sitting in the back seat, said, "Emily, just get off the road and go towards the fort." I responded with, "But Rashid, there's no road from here to there." So he started with that delightful laugh of his, which lets me know that something good is coming. And he said, "Heather, we're in the desert. Sometimes you just have to make your own road." This multi-layered truth illuminated my soul. We're in the desert. Sometimes you just have to make your own road. Do you ever feel like, sometimes, metaphorically speaking, you are in a desert? Like you live in a place that is harsh and rocky and lacks the life-giving values that we embrace here in Unitarian Universalism? Like we live in a desert devoid of love and care and respect for the inherent worth and dignity of every person? Is what is happening right now in this country and all over the world getting you down, overwhelming you, and making you feel hopeless, like being lost in a desert, not knowing which way to go, wondering when your thirst for a culture of love and care and unity will be quenched? Sometimes, in a desert like this, we have to make our own road if we want to find what we're looking for. We did find the fort ruins of Zakrit, along with what appeared to be some old empty houses and a camel. We did this by making our own way through the desert, and it was an interesting enough finale for this adventure. However, that was not the last adventure through the desert that I experienced on my trip. It seems my brother-in-law really wanted to show me what it's like to make your own road through the desert. And he took me out to a place called Sea Line, where there were sandy dunes as far as the eye could see up and down the coast of the Persian Gulf. But making your own road through sandy desert dunes is no easy task. That is because sand, of course, is a loose, granular material. Dry sand is not bound together by any sort of adhesive agent. When a vehicle is driving over the sand, the tires sink into the surface, and the sand in front of the tires must be pushed out of the way. The arrangement of the granules of sand deform under the weight of the vehicle. They don't support the tire. Instead, the tire pushes a small wall of sand ahead of it, increasing the required force for forward motion. The effort required to constantly push through this terrain in a vehicle and make your own road is called the rolling resistance. Of course, the kind of vehicle you are driving will determine how well you can succeed at this rolling resistance. My sister's Nissan, not so great. Dune buggies. Dune buggies are made just right for making your own road in the desert. They're lightweight, open-bodied, they have wide tires with low pressure, powerful engines, robust suspension, and a protective roll cage. So at Sea Line, we all hopped into my brother-in-law's dune buggy and made our way through the sandy dunes with more ease than I expected. That's not to say that we didn't find ourselves sliding sideways down the side of one of the dunes. I think he did that on purpose, just, pretty sure. Yeah, but for the most part, we just wandered around and got out occasionally to check out the views. I had no sense of direction out there in those sand dunes, but my brother-in-law navigated them like a Qatari native that's been making his own roads in the desert for a lifetime. And it was a lot of fun. I don't know if we have a video, that's okay. Yeah, Faisal says, wait, one second.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, that's splendid.
Is there,
She screams.
yeah, there. I can imitate it for you. Rashid, what are you doing? Yeah, that was kind of, and then laughing, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ah,
Whee! Yep. So, life right now might seem like wandering around in the dry desert dunes with no clear direction. The desert can be a dangerous place, and there's nowhere to hide. And that feels like our unfortunate reality right now in this time of comply or die. So we have to help each other navigate. We have to come together and to organize and to keep each other safe. Together, this will all be easier to cope with, easier to process, easier to imagine. How do we resist the systemic violence that we are up against? How do we push it out of the way and then build a culture based on radical hospitality instead? Which way do we turn to get to the promised land? We've never been here before. That's not to say that there are not some well-paved roads that guide us in the right direction. History points us down those roads, and we're doing a good job right now of protesting and speaking up and out against what's happening. But the roads that haven't been laid out well before us are the roads that lead us to a new way, beyond what Einstein called this predatory phase of human behavior. We can't just tear down. We also have to build a place to be in order for this rolling resistance to be successful. If we don't have a vision, we're just traveling those wandering roads that only lead to more desert. So, let us imagine and create these new roads together in community and with a thirst-quenching joy, because it's fun, as you can see. We are way more likely to make it happen when we do it together. We can travel these new roads, figure out what works, what leads nowhere, and how to bind the loose ground underneath us, making it easier for others to follow. But wouldn't it be easier to make these new roads if we had a well-equipped vehicle? That vehicle can be this church, this Unitarian Universalist congregation of Lakeland. Like the dune buggy, this church can be a place where your load is lightened. It can be that lightweight vehicle that navigates the bumpy terrain by having procedures in place for responding to crises. This church can be that open-bodied place that welcomes all who are centered in love and seeking justice. This church can help us be resilient and to bounce back like wide tires with low pressure. This church can have robust suspension that supports our political rage and our joyful spiritual play. This church can provide a protective roll cage for all of us and for the many people in our community who need it right now. This church, small but mighty, can have a powerful engine fueled by the sharing of our stories, our experiences, our skills, our knowledge, and our financial resources. Together, we can become a powerful rolling resistance, building new roads and new ways to love. As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, either we go up together or we go down together. He also said in that famous last speech of his entitled, "I've Been to the Mountaintop," "Let us rise up tonight with a greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination. And let us move on these powerful days, these days of challenge, to make America what it ought to be. We have an opportunity to make America a better nation. And I want to thank God once more for allowing me to be here with you," he said. In Islam, the phrase for thanks be to God is Alhamdulillah. I am thankful that I can be here with all of you today, making new roads through this desert. So let us sing together, Alhamdulillah. It's number 180, but there's only one word, Alhamdulillah. Today, so we're doing good. Isaiah's doing awesome. Thank you, Isaiah. All right.
Equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. In Unitarian Universalism, we often say that we are a covenantal faith, that what binds us together is not creed, but promise. Promise to one another, promise to this community, promise to show up, not just in spirit, but in the very real ways that make ministry possible. And one of the most important ways we live out that promise is through our upcoming annual pledge drive. Because in congregational polity, which is the system we proudly follow, there is no outside authority funding our mission. There is no national church paying our bills. There is no distant body making decisions for us. We are the church. And that means the dreams we have for this congregation only become real when we decide to make them real. When we talk about pledging, we are talking about sustaining the people who sustain us. It means paying our staff what they truly deserve for the skill, compassion, emotional labor, and sheer number of hours they pour into this community. Not just so that they can keep working here, but so they can live with dignity, stability, and a little less financial stress in their daily lives. Ministry should never require personal sacrifice just to survive. It means making sure our buildings and grounds team doesn't have to reach into their own pockets to keep this place safe, functional, and welcoming. No one should be fixing leaks, replacing supplies, or solving emergencies out of personal generosity just because the budget didn't cover what the building actually needs. It means giving our hospitality team the resources to create the kind of space we all want to walk into, one that feels warm, cared for, and ready to receive both longtime members and first-time visitors with equal joy. It means equipping our communications committee to do the work of invitation, printing mailers, creating digital outreach, and strengthening our presence in the wider community so that people who are searching for exactly this kind of spiritual home can actually find us. Because if people don't know we're here, we can't serve them. And perhaps most importantly, it means ensuring that UUCL continues to exist as a welcoming and safe space, a place where people can breathe, question, heal, celebrate, grieve, and grow in a world that feels for many increasingly unkind and unstable. These spaces don't maintain themselves. Justice-centered faith communities do not survive on good intentions alone. They survive because people decide they matter. Pledging is not about paying dues. It is about investing in shared values. It is about saying, this community changes lives, including mine, and I am willing to help carry it forward. Every pledge at every level is part of the same collective act of faith. Faith in what we already are, and faith in what we are still becoming. So when you are asked to consider your pledge, which we are moving into pledge season very soon, I invite you to think not only about what is comfortable, but about what reflects your hope for this congregation. What kind of church you want to be part of building together. Because in this faith, the future is not handed down to us. It is built by us together. And I will say that being the chair of the board, I have been strongly encouraging all of our committees to have aspirational budgets. So we are going to be starting our pledge drive as an aspirational budget. We should be having that budget done by the end of this month and starting our pledge drive in some way to monitor our progress, probably in February. So just a heads up on that. We need time, talent, and treasure now more than ever. We need to get the word out about who we are and what we imagine the world to be different, so we are making our own roads because it doesn't have to be this way. And now for closing words. A Space for Beauty by Reverend Tandy Rogers. May your resistance be grounded in love. May you know when to rest and when to rise. May you remember that pushing back against harm is also a way of making space for beauty. And we are going to have a closing hymn, number 121, We Will Build a Land.
Captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. We'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where people together, filled with the Spirit, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll right here. From the land where people together, filled with the Spirit, and then create peace where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come to the land where people together, filled with the Spirit, may then create peace where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Okay. Well,
Well,
it's been 2 weeks since I've done this, and I'm passing out those waters and forgetting my words. Except for, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are
blessing.
And if you would like some rose water. Oh, and distinguish the chalice.
Chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Word.